Mriting Wonday.
So Butt Juice Christmas Special.
Special Christmas juice butt.
That's a better name.
This is way better than the last setup we had.
Yeah, way better. Because I'm not as close to you.
Yeah, I can't smell your stink. Welcome to Mriting Wonday, episode 2.
Episode 2!
So this episode, we are going to talk about Christmas episodes of TV shows.
Ugh.
Jason loves it so much that he wore his favorite Christmas outfit.
Mm-hmm. I think this is going to be a very good dynamic that you, from all I know, you love Christmas, everything Christmas.
It's true.
And I don't.
Do you not love... What? Explain.
I just don't like the very specific holiday stuff. I love the holiday season, the decorations, the music leading up to it, and I think that should just be a winter thing.
That's actually not a bad idea.
You know, it should just be like, let's keep our spirits up so that way we don't kill ourselves during the winter. But like,
yeah, I'm down for that.
I feel like there's mostly, for me, and this is obviously just from our different experiences growing up with the holiday, it's mostly stress and mostly things expected of me or like mostly like, hey, come over here and you better have fun.
It's mandatory fun.
You have to have fun.
I am a very outgoing person.
Mm-hmm.
So being around people gives me energy, and holidays are a great excuse to be around lots of people.
Yeah.
So if you don't like being around people in general, then the holidays
but usually
are
like
gonna force you to.
The only excuse of people you get to be around is your family.
That's not true.
Or at least for me it is, because like it's not like friends throw Christmas parties or anything. So it's like,
Do you want to throw a Christmas party? Let's throw a Christmas party.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll throw a Christmas
We'll
party.
do an office Christmas party.
I'm down.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll do it for an office Christmas party. We should do it at the end of the year.
Oh yeah,
just the two of us.
It's the New Year's. You wanted to throw a New Year's party.
That's true. I am throwing a New Year's Eve party.
Basically.
So we'll do a New Year's Eve office party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I look forward to reclaiming Christmas in the future and like making my own traditions for it. But like right now, I just know that like those days, like Christmas Day is one of my least favorite days of the year. You know. I also just don't like gifts.
Yeah, we've talked about this. You don't like gifts out of obligation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree.
It's kind of like, you have to be happy now because we got you a good gift. And it's like, but there's more to this. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a good gift and then the rest of the day is all good. It's like, let's have an actual holly jolly time. It's like, I've always had a problem of it's the thought that counts. It's like, it isn't.
Interesting.
It isn't, because like when you give me a gift because you're like, Christmas gift, and I'm like, what is this?
What is it?
Okay, well,
I want to know what it is.
The more and more we dive into this conversation, the more you cannot put it in the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So, how much do you want to know?
I was hoping that you would improv something, not tell me a horror story of your childhood. End of story.
End of story.
Wow, what a good end of a story that is going to be cut out of the podcast.
End of story. Yeah, basically, I like happiness that is not mandatory, and like it's just like I like moments that feel like Christmas and it's not Christmas.
Yeah, and I think that a good example is photographs, like from that story that you just told that is getting cut out.
Yeah.
Photographs. I think pictures that are taken while people are doing stuff, awesome. Love that. But posing for pictures, if I'm going to pose for a picture, I'm going to do a bit.
Yeah.
I can't not.
Exactly.
Like, everybody's always like, why do you always smile goofy or whatever? It's like, because I'm not going to pretend to be happy. Even if I am happy right now, I'm not going to pretend to show happiness for the picture.
Exactly. Just capture when I'm smiling, or else I'm not going to...
Exactly.
Yeah, it's always... I remember taking a family picture where I was like making a dumb face, and I was like, all right, make it better. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Finally, by the fourth time, I'm like, now you're criticizing my smile. Yeah. This is how I smile now. I've changed it back to my smile, and you think that's goofy.
Yeah, you put yourself into that position by not just faking it to begin with.
I know. Oh yeah. But it's just like, this is how I smile. I don't know what to tell you.
No matter what face you do, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to get into Christmas episodes?
Yeah, let's do it.
TV. So in general, you're anti-Christmas episode.
I'm anti like cliche Christmas episodes, I guess. You'll be able to tell about what the episodes I picked.
Okay, so I don't have these in order. I don't remember what order I watched these in.
Are they ranked or are they?
I have the top 3.
Okay.
It was very difficult though.
Interesting.
And I still am not confident in it.
I've
got my 1 and 2. I've got my 1. That's the most important one. There's one where I was like, this is it.
Yeah, that's me too. I have my 1 that I'm like confident of. Then I have 2 and 3 that I'm like, these are good, but also like the third one could be switched out with another maybe. So I have like a list of 6 that I wanted to discuss.
So the first show I want to talk about is Malcolm in the Middle.
Number 3, huh? Family episode,
Number
season
3.
3, episode 7. Is that what you're thinking of?
Is it Christmas?
Or Christmas?
Episode?
Yeah, sorry. No,
yes.
Yes, that's my number 3.
It almost made the list.
It's so good.
It's like my 4 or 5.
So good. It's really like dysfunctional family Christmas.
So good. And that's the one with the grandma, right?
It's the one with the grandma.
Yes. Okay, so
Lois cancels Christmas and then is like emotionally wrecked by it.
Yes. And then right as she has the change of heart, the kids have switched over. They finally because they
had a change of heart too, but we're fucking things up.
Well, they're just to recap, and this is gonna not be a spoiler-free episode.
Oh yeah,
of Mriting Wonday.
It'll never be a spoiler-free episode of Mriting Wonday.
Not entirely.
Yeah,
but anyways, so this Malcolm in the Middle episode, Christmas. That's the name of the episode. Lois decides that the kids have gone too far, that they're so reckless, whatever. They always ruin Christmas. She takes all the gifts and puts them in the garage, and she's like, we're not going to have Christmas unless you guys are good.
Yeah.
If you guys make one single mistake from now until Christmas, which is like a few days.
Yeah.
Then you have to be good until then. And they're good until like Christmas Eve. And that's when Lois snaps and is like, I can't believe I did this to the kids. I ruined Christmas. Let's go get the gifts. So they go to get the gifts, but the kids have already snapped and decided to go in and like open all their gifts early.
Yeah. And since has also decided that they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, they also are like, oh God, we're terrible because Mom actually got us all the things we asked for.
Yeah.
And normally that's not the case.
I didn't want this globe. That's mine. These are your cleats.
Something that's interesting about Malcolm in the Middle as a show is that they have the older brother, Francis, who does not live at home with them, that they cut away to for like B story that has nothing to do with the rest of the episode most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes they overlap a little bit. Sometimes there's like a phone call.
It is kind of crazy that then he comes home and it feels like a crossover episode and it's the same show.
Yeah.
How do they do that feeling? That's amazing.
Yeah, they're really telling. Like watching 2 shows.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, this episode, he's in the household, so it's the whole thing.
Something that is so cool about this episode, first of all, Cloris Leachman.
Yeah, always a delight.
Steals the show. She's incredible. Mm-hmm. She's so funny.
And this one, if I remember right, her story ends up being kind of like tragic in a way too, right? Like and then it flips back again, but like
it's tragic, and then she's like, "Oh my God, how could I do this? I'm so terrible." And then she keeps going, and then it gets sarcastic, and she's like, if only there was time, I would have this change of heart. We got to deliver all the presents. Get my sleigh." Anyways, I watched the other 2 Malcolm in the Middle Christmas episodes as well.
So Hal's Gift.
But Hal's Christmas Gift, it would probably be a really, really good Christmas episode if there wasn't already another Malcolm in the Middle Christmas episode that was better.
Yeah.
It's not a bad episode, but it's not like the
There
crazy...
isn't that many bad ones of Malcolm in the Middle. It's true. It's a show that has no business being as good as it is.
It really does, yeah. And it's single camera.
Yeah, it really changed the landscape. We don't give it a lot of credit because there wasn't something like that right then, on TV.
So that's Malcolm in the Middle. Moving on. A show that you don't watch, Big Mouth, on
Christmas
Netflix,
one, huh?
has a Christmas episode, which most of their episodes are like 25 minutes. This one was 33. This is just like a little bit longer.
Mm.
And one thing that was cool about it is that basically they do they have this like felt puppets that they start with. And they're like, we've got a Christmas party we're going to throw. And then they like tell a story. And then that story is animated. But they do a different animation style for each story.
That's cool.
So they like get to play around with, it's like we were talking about, there's every once in a while on a show, usually about once per season on an animated show, the animators just get to run wild and do something totally different.
Yeah.
This was that.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, it plays the different animation styles and there's puppets. And it's interesting because this is something that I notice about Christmas specials too. Some of them are canon and some of them are not.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
And you do, I think.
I think there's a place for it.
Yeah.
I think that when else do you get to tell a non-canon story?
Make a movie. Okay, I'm
I
kidding.
guess make a movie in the same.
Yeah, you mean in
Like
the
in
same
a different universe
yeah.
with like an alternate universe.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And it definitely has a place for the creators and a certain set of viewers. I don't like watching it or creating it. I think we've talked about that when we were doing a Halloween one. Where we're like, a special doesn't always have to be like in universe. Like we could have them all die at the end if we wanted to. And I was like, no, sir, no, I won't do it.
So,
which is actually, I'm going to bring up a pilot that is in the list of ones that I didn't pick, but I watched.
Okay.
And I knew I wasn't going to pick it, but one that fits the mold for me of canon, but it still doesn't go all the way. Where I still like it's not my favorite.
Okay.
And it's Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas.
That's on my list. We'll get to it.
Yeah, it's still canon, and it comes back in other episodes as canon. So I love that aspect of it, but there's just something still a little taken away from the rest of the universe that I'm like, it's still on my list of my least favorite Community episodes.
Yeah, for me, I like that episode.
I figured you would,
but we'll get to that. Another show, Doctor Who. I had watched what I thought was going to be one of my favorite Christmas episodes again.
It wasn't.
It was not. Basically, the first Christmas special of Doctor Who, of the new Doctor Who, is the first episode that we get to see David Tennant really in
ever
action.
Like, is it when he?
It's
in
not
action.
the very first. It's not the first like seconds.
So it's not when they switch.
It takes place seconds after.
Gotcha.
So it's like that is the end of the season when he switches. Then it's the Christmas special right after.
Man, what an odd thing, especially for an actor. Like, you're just like doing the Christmas, maybe possibly non-canon. Is it?
Oh, it's canon. Yeah, it's arguably more canon than anything else. Like, it's like the most important episode of the season usually.
Damn.
Not true. That's not true. But
do
there's a lot of things that are important that
people
happen.
in like Britain like care about Christmas even more than we do?
I think it's different.
Just different.
Yeah, I think that's very different.
They hold it in more importance, maybe.
I don't know by how much.
Yeah,
but there's like certain like dishes and like,
I would just be interested in like why, if it's just like the people who like Doctor Who or make Doctor Who also like really like Christmas, or if it was just like something a bit more culturally that was like that's why they made their big special episodes always Christmas episodes, or if they just were like, it's the way our seasons end on at the end of the year. We don't do the mid-seasons thing, so it's always a Christmas episode.
I think that's it.
You think so?
I think that's the most important thing when it comes to Christmas episodes. Because the British Office also has one season and then a 2-part Christmas episode, and that's the whole show.
That's it. Yeah, you're right. That is totally it then.
There's one notable thing that happens in that episode, in the Doctor Who, the first one. It's called the Christmas Invasion. One very notable thing that's so goofy is that the characters get attacked by a remote-controlled Christmas tree. It's so funny.
Wow.
It's so dumb. The tree starts spinning around and like slowly comes after them. And they're like stuck in their apartment like, what do we do? And then they're like backing up to the wall or whatever. And then the Christmas tree takes like a chunk out of the wall that's Christmas tree shaped.
Oh my God.
That's there for the rest of the episode.
Damn, that's cool.
It's so silly. And it like chews up a coffee table. There's another Christmas episode though that I forgot was a Christmas special because there's so little Christmas in it.
So it's not a Christmas episode.
Because you can call it a Christmas episode. It's like the Die Hard debate or whatever. If you can call it a debate, like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? I don't really care. Either way.
Yeah.
If you want to call it a Christmas movie, go ahead. If you're like, it's not really about Christmas, fine. But this one is just called The Next Doctor.
Oh, wow.
It's the season 4, I believe, Christmas special.
So this is going into...
so this is
the third
near the end of David Tennant's run.
Oh, so is the new Doctor in this one or not? Or is all Tennant?
So there's going to be spoilers. You ready for me to spoil some of it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this episode is called The Next Doctor. It's the Christmas special, and we know that David Tennant is leaving, but it's not David Tennant's last episode. There's 2 or 3 specials after it, and then like a 2-parter special. But in this episode, you meet this guy played by David Morrissey, who claims to be the Doctor, and they interact. And you're like, oh my God, this must be the new Doctor or a future Doctor.
Ooh.
And I love that. I think that that's so much fun.
That is cool.
And the episode opens up The doctor ends up in London in like the 1800s and it's snowing and he's walking around and David Tennant's so charming and having like the snowfall and it's like, what day is it? It's Christmas Eve, sir. It's great. Very Christmassy. But then immediately after that, there's nothing Christmassy about the episode. Episode starts really strong. The villain of the episode is from another dimension that they went to in a previous episode. So like this villain has like fallen through the vortex and came out in the 1800s London. And now there's this other doctor there and they're like teaming up to fight the bad guys that are from another dimension. Really cool. Halfway through the episode, though, you kind of figure out like what the deal is with this other guy, and it's not the best payoff. And then like the fight with the villains is not that interesting to me. So like the episode kind of falls flat after you get over that initial like interesting part.
Yeah.
And I still think that's one of my favorite episodes, but it's not very Christmassy, and it definitely has flaws. And it's probably too long. New Girl. I watched one Christmas episode of New Girl.
LAX one?
No. I just chose the first one.
Okay.
I was like, this is a show that I'm reasonably familiar with. I've seen it all the way through at least.
Christmas Eve?
It was Santa.
Oh, that's why I didn't look at that one.
It is not a Christmassy episode at all.
Can I just, before you continue?
Yes.
Name your episodes better. Like, it's not difficult to, like, Malcolm in the Middle. You didn't have to call it Christmas. You didn't have to call this one Santa. You know, like, just a little bit more. A little bit more.
I agree. I think the Seinfeld one being called The Strike makes it impossible to find when you're thinking about the Festivus episode.
Yeah.
I wrote down Festivus as the name of the episode, but that's not even it.
Yeah.
But that's what everybody's going to call it. Yeah, the New Girl one, it does not stand alone as a Christmas episode. Very, very tied up in what's going on with the characters at the moment. It's like big relationship changes are happening in this episode. So it's like, it just has like a kind of a Christmas backdrop, but almost nothing Christmassy about it. And then in the end, they get pulled over by a cop with a big white beard.
Oh,
that like
I
lets them
remember
go.
that. Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, we just met Santa.
That's right.
And that's where you start to get into this, like, one of the other Christmas tropes is that randomly magic exists in the universe for this one episode, which is so weird to do.
And I don't like that. And like, especially if they're just not, if it's a fully canon episode and they're like, and then there's magic sometimes.
BTW Santa.
Yeah. And it's like dumb magic like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they know that they can get away with saying there's magic in the universe, in this universe, maybe is because the event was so fucking dumb anyway, because it was Christmas themed.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be
you're just being the Grinch. You should have worn a Grinch costume, but even that would be too Christmassy.
It would be too Christmassy.
Too on theme.
Too on the Rudolph's red nose.
The worst part about that episode, though, it was not a bad episode, but there's one terrible thing in that episode.
That even Santa is not it. Like is how do I say this? Santa is up for grabs in terms of ACAB as well. Then because he's just breaking the law for Christmas.
So
sorry, what was it? The one bad thing.
The one bad thing. So they go to a couple Christmas parties in the episode, and the transition from party to party is just like a JPEG of the invitation, and it's like skewed a little bit. So it's like black background. And then like a colorful invitation on an angle that's just text of like where the party's at.
Wow.
And it's on the screen for like 5 seconds between scenes. And I'm like, this looks so weird. It's so amateurish.
So it's the one where Schmidt tries to like lap dance on Nick?
Yes.
I do like that episode actually.
Yeah.
Except for that bit at the end, I guess I forgot about.
It's just not very Christmassy. I think that end, though, is like plausible deniability. Right?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Like, oh, it was just them thinking that it was Santa.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you're like, yeah, but...
Is it?
I think it's just one of those things that fits Jess's personality very well, that she could be like, that was Santa, and I know it was.
Yeah.
And that.
I'm surprised that they didn't... That would have been a very interesting, especially season 1 episode for them of Christmas, where she keeps seeing miracles in things that are clearly not miracles or happenstance, and then end it with something that, oh, maybe it is. I don't know.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. All right. Another one I watched, Family Guy, the first Christmas episode, Merry Freaking Christmas or something like that.
Merry freaking Christmas, Lois. Holy crap, I'm a Christmas episode.
This is the one where, for some reason, there's a fireplace in their TV room, whatever, has a fireplace.
and usually doesn't.
No, it's huge too. It's like very obviously just for this episode. Their house burns down because like an ember from the fireplace jumps out and then starts everything on fire. And Brian's the only one home and he's like trying to deal with it or whatever. The best part of this episode though, Family Guy already does original music, like little intros, little flutters in and out of scenes and stuff. They're Christmassy. So they composed original Christmassy intros and outros for scenes, which I think is so cool. And they're not the only one that does that.
Oh, just like, you mean the transitional music?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they did like Christmas versions of it.
Yeah, I love
which
that.
I think is super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, next, Futurama.
Figured.
Futurama has 2 Christmas episodes that I really, really like. And I don't think either of them were going to make it, but they're like right there at like number 4-ish. Okay. The robot company, the company that makes all the robots basically, created a Santa, but they programmed it wrong. So he invariably judges everybody as naughty and he tries to kill them. So there's a killer robot Santa that comes once a year. So Xmas is all about defending yourself against a killer robot Santa.
Wait, that's the whole holiday every year?
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
It's great.
Love that.
And that particular episode has a really, really good, like a romance subplot around Fry and Leela. Fry goes out to get the perfect Christmas gift for Leela, perfect Xmas gift for Leela, and he's out late and Santa shows up. It's just very good. And then they have like a very sweet moment together. There's another Christmas episode which has a song in it. And that is the first time that we see Kwanzaa Bot and hear about the Hanukkah zombie. And I love the color around the Futurama holidays.
Yeah.
They just have these like characters, figureheads for these 3 holidays that are like buddies.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really fun. Tell me some of yours, because I'm sick of talking.
Okay. Well, I'm a big fan of dysfunctional family Christmas episodes. So like Anatomy Park, definitely on there for me.
That's a Christmas episode?
Yeah, it sure is, because the other half of it is Jerry's parents and the guy who watches them have sex from a closet.
Yes.
Or no, the dad watches her have sex with her boyfriend in the closet.
Yes.
And that's a Christmas episode where Jerry's trying to be like, no tech for Christmas. And then he's like, he pulls Morty away, and then they kind of all have a nice little Christmas moment at the end, but nothing too sappy. I also like an episode of Psych, especially because this title's a good title. It's called Gus's Dad May Have Killed an Old Guy.
That's a great title.
I know.
I don't remember that episode. Tell me about it. I've seen the show, but I don't remember most.
It's the first time we as an audience meet Gus's parents, I believe. I don't remember the name of the 2 actors, but great actors.
I love them.
It's Sean going over to Gus's house for Christmas, and him and his dad are invited, and they do not like Sean. They've never liked Sean.
Yeah, I can see that.
And there's a great line about like them talking about why they don't like Sean from childhood. He was like trying to prove that he's a good friend to Gus, and he's like, who forced Gus to smoke an entire pack of cigarettes so that way he would hate it? That was me. And they're like, yeah, he got his asthma because of that. We had to get him an inhaler. And he's like, fun fact, his inhaler is why he got into pharmaceuticals. So you're welcome. I'm always a sucker for an episode where somebody doesn't like somebody else, and then they have this moment where they have a chance to kind of prove that and impress them, So it's like when they go Christmas caroling, and they are at this like the grumpy man of the neighborhood, and he won't answer the door. So Sean opens the door to him hanging there. And then it seems like as cops start questioning, it seems like the best suspect is Gus's dad.
So I actually was going to ask if there was actually a crime to solve in this episode.
Yes. And so he has to prove Gus's dad's innocence. And throughout this episode, we learn just how dysfunctional Gus's parents are. And that they've always had like this perfect family persona thing, and like the mom has standing debts for gambling and stuff like that, and that's part of like just a lot of things that are wrapped in that is coming out into the light that Gus didn't even know about, and then so it kind of shows that they're not perfect, and then Sean saves the day, proves that he didn't kill the old guy.
Does he also get like the "I told you so" moment where they like start to like him again?
Yeah, it's him showing just how like good him and Gus are at what they do, as well as just being detectives. And so like they're like, okay, Sean isn't the worst, and we respect your guys' career. You know, before it's like he's doing this dumb hobby alongside his pharmaceutical career.
Does you remember what I was gonna say?
I remember what you was gonna say?
I had a response and I don't remember it.
No, I don't remember. Sorry. Also, I'm going to talk about, because I've already talked about the third on my list because it was family, or I keep saying family. I think that was a different episode of something, but Christmas from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes.
2 episodes that I think this will be my third instead. Then is a community one, community Christmas episode.
Is it regional holiday music?
It isn't. It almost was, and I do think it's a great episode, and it's right up my alley because it's like it's very different and very it still has like the parodiness of community or the homageness of Community with Glee.
I disagree. I think that is a parody. I think that they are doing
you're right, yeah,
to poke fun at them.
100%.
I think it's intentionally
it's fully a parody.
It's not. They're not paying homage to Glee.
You're right.
I think that they're parodying Glee.
But Comparative Religion is the first season one.
Does that count as a Christmas episode?
Oh, it's a full Christmas episode because it's Christmas season is here.
Oh,
Shirley.
No.
Shirley wants to throw a very classical Christian Christmas at party because she's not gonna like this is her family right now, and it's not even Christmas. It's like December 18th or whatever because they keep saying or November or something. They're like
something like that.
It's like Christmas. It's December 3rd. You know. And it delves into all of their religions. So early on in the group, too. Halfway through season 1, it delves into every character's belief system, their religion, and Jeff's like trying to mediate all that because he doesn't care at all. And I love a good episode about religion.
I do really like the guy that they introduced. I don't know if we ever get his name, but the winger guy.
Yeah, and he comes back in some.
Yeah.
And do you know that actor?
No.
He is the...
Who is it?
The nerdy guy in Breakfast Club.
What? Anthony Michael Hall?
Yes. He's the snickerdoodle guy.
No, he's not.
Go ahead, take a look.
What?
Go ahead, take a look.
You're drunk.
You're high.
What? I don't see it still. I still don't see that. That's wild.
I know.
He looks so different.
I know. And
that's why I didn't recognize him when I was at that convention that he was at. He was across the room from me for like an hour.
Holy shit.
And I was looking at him. My brother was like, yeah, that's him. And I was like, nah, that's like his security guard or something. I can't tell. He looks so different. He looks good.
You're like, that's the snickerdoodle guy from Community. He was also in like a full season of Psych.
I see it now. Now without the mustache in this random interview.
He was in a full season of Psych as well. He took over like the chief position for a bit.
Wow, I don't remember that either.
And
wild.
It's wild
that
casting.
Is wild.
I love it, and it makes that episode special every time I watch it. I'm like, holy crap, it's this guy again.
I gotta rewatch that.
I know.
That's
that
now
in mind.
My favorite.
I love an episode. I love a Christmas episode that's about religion and has commentary about religion. You know.
Let's delve into that. I'm interested in that.
Why?
Yeah, why? What is it that of all the things for somebody who's not religious to like about a Christmas episode, which is the thing you generally don't like, the thing you like is religion?
Yeah, it's weird. You're right.
I hate Christmas episodes and I'm not religious, but I love a religious Christmas episode.
Well, I guess the key there is with commentary, right? Like, I don't like an episode of that's really like, man, we're gonna bring the Christ back to Christmas.
Okay, so you like the commentary on how the religion part of holidays is done.
Yeah, and I like the commentary on religion in any time, even not a Christmas episode. So that in itself, and I also like it's so tied to Christmas, and people forget that it's tied to Christmas.
Yeah,
and people like to just like it's not, but it's like it's either it fully is or it fully isn't. We got to make a choice here.
Yeah, I think it's both in the way that you have to pick one.
Yeah.
You get to pick one.
Yeah.
You can either make it a religious holiday or you get to celebrate a non-religious holiday.
Right. Because so many people that are very, very religious celebrate Christmas the way everybody else does. And it's like, it's really just the same of like people want to be Christian, but they don't want to realize they really aren't. That's a quote from the new movie. It's right. It's not from the future anymore, so I don't like it as much. And I also love that it's an episode that's trying to force Christmas, and it ends in a brawl.
Yeah.
It ends in a bloody brawl.
Showing that this is not the way to do it.
Yeah, and it still ends with Shirley singing Christmas, but it's also showing them all bleeding and beat up and stuff, and like Jeff's got the bloody nose and things, and he's been punched by Pierce.
Oh yeah.
Pierce hit him in the fight. But yeah, I think that's a really good episode. Another episode I want to talk about, because I was looking at old sitcom Christmas episodes. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this one. And then when I was done, I was like, that was not a Christmas episode. I think the list was wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, I think that they said the episode. I was going through a playlist somebody made on YouTube of Christmas episodes and full episodes of their of like old shows that they had uploaded and made. And so it was like episodes of Barney Miller and episodes of Laverne and Shirley and stuff like that.
I wish I did that.
And I watched a Barney Miller one, and I watched a Mary Tyler Moore episode, and I don't think either of them are Christmas. It felt really weird, but like they were good, but weird. But the reason why I want to talk about the Mary Tyler Moore one is because the episode title was, if I remember correctly, it was like some of my friends are. And I was like, oh, is this going to be like a gay, like someone brought someone gay over for Christmas or whatever? No, it was her and her best friend start to become like, Mary Tyler Moore and her best friend start to like become a little distant because a new friend has entered Mary Tyler Moore's life.
Okay.
Some random woman who they crash their cars into each other. And now they're friends and they're hanging out and all this stuff. And then she's like playing tennis and going to the tennis club a lot with her. And then she's like, we need a fourth person. Well, I'll bring my friend with. And she's like, I don't know. She might not be able to keep up with us. And she's like, well, I'm not that good either. He's like, you're getting a lot better. So she might not be able to keep up with us. He's like, I don't think you want my friend coming. Why? And she's like, well, like the club, sometimes they won't let Jewish people in, but whatever. And we're like, oh. And she's like, I'm Jewish. And she's like, what? And she like was like, what?
Hang on.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Which character is which?
The girl the new friend is always going to this tennis club.
And she didn't know that Mary Tyler Moore was Jewish.
But she knew that Mary Tyler Moore's friend was Jewish, so she didn't want her coming. When she says, I'm Jewish, and the new friend's like, what? And like, yeah, I can't believe that can you believe that we both got away with the fact that we're bringing a Jewish person in the tennis court and no one knew? And you can tell she's so visibly uncomfortable. And she's like, I'm not Jewish. But the fact that you just freaked out that I was Jewish.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was an awesome episode. And then at the end, I was like, damn, I don't think that was Christmas. I don't think there was anything to do with Christmas. It was all about tennis and Jews.
It's all about tennis and Jews.
And I was like, this
both classic Christmas tropes.
You're right.
I tried to watch some older stuff too.
Okay.
So when we did the last episode of Mriting Wonday and we did pilots.
What's Mriting Wonday? It sounds bad.
It's like a casserole that you bring to Christmas dinner.
It's like Castle with Nathan Fillion?
Yeah, you bake him in a dish.
Okay. And you check him twice.
You check him twice and you put French's fried onions on top.
Okay. So you bake him in a dish.
It's entirely made of mayo.
And you check it
twice.
Nathan
Fillion.
And you find out if Nathan Fillion's naughty or nice.
He's naughty.
He's naughty.
He's nice. So I tried to watch, for the pilot episode of Mriting Wonday when we watched pilots, I tried to watch the I Love Lucy pilot. And on Hulu, it starts with like season 1, episode 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so they don't even have the pilot on here? That's dumb. So I was like, this time I'll watch the Christmas episode. Not on there. It's a season 4 episode, I guess, and they only had 3 seasons on Hulu. And I was like, well, okay, a bummer again.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that. And I forgot what the other show that I tried to watch that I didn't end up getting a Christmas episode out of. And that's when I realized that Christmas episodes are only in 2 kinds of shows usually. Sitcoms and kid shows.
What other shows are there?
Dramas.
Because like drama is such a big envelope of things. It's like you get Christmas themed cop procedurals where it's like there's an episode of Bones where they find a dead mall Santa.
I guess that's just not a genre I watch.
And then there's, if you watch any family dramas, it's like, of course there's gonna be a Christmas episode because it's like, so like Parenthood and This Is Us have Christmas episodes.
Okay, that's fair. I was just thinking that procedurals don't tend to have Christmas episodes by nature of they're telling a story that goes Or not procedurals. Serialized.
Oh, like a Breaking Bad doesn't have a Christmas. Yeah. And that could be said about most just serialized, because when I was thinking about my favorite shows and if they have a Christmas episode, you have things like The Good Place.
Yeah.
Wouldn't make sense to have a Christmas episode, and the story is just constantly moving. There's a couple other shows. There's one Christmas episode of Buffy, and it's to me, it doesn't really vibe with the Christmas of it. Like it's more about the Buffy angel of it all, and then it ends with a Christmas miracle of it snows.
Yes.
When it should have been sunny. An angel was trying to kill himself.
Right. I looked up the synopsis for that because I was like, I don't remember this. And I looked it up and I was like, okay, Jason might talk about that. So I don't even need to worry about it.
Yeah, and I didn't even watch it because I was like, I know, I was like, is there any other Christmas ones? Because I know there's that one. It doesn't really count for me. And I was like, no, there's none. There's a birthday episode every time, though.
For whose birthday?
Buffy gets
Buffy's birthday.
Because Buffy's birthday, canonically, the worst shit happens to her on her birthday every season.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. You're right in that, although I think there's a Dexter Christmas episode.
Is Dexter not a procedural?
It's not a procedural. It's a serial.
Did not know that.
I
gotta watch that show.
So I would like to hear the third on your list. Top. Let's do the list here. Because I've already given you my third because you got it out of me already.
Number 3. To remember which order I put them in. Number 3. Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas.
Okay.
Here's the thing with that episode.
What's the deal with that episode?
It's a little bit canon and a little bit not.
Yeah.
Because the cold close of that episode, I don't know what the term for that is Abed and Troy being like, oh my God, we're claymation again. Troy was like, no, I did this because I wanted to eat the food because it looks so good.
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not canon. It's just a thing that they did at the end for a good bit.
Interesting.
Which I like. It's fine.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying is that like I really like when they skirt the edge of canon.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like the adding a little bit of magic in. It's like there's plausible deniability that maybe that was something magical, but really it was it's totally explainable that it's not.
Yeah.
The Christmas coincidence, basically.
Yeah.
Instead of a Christmas miracle.
Christmas coincidence.
So that had to be on the list because even though it's so goofy, like it's just silly. It's a silly episode.
Yeah.
But it stands out so much.
Of course.
Even if you've never seen Community, you might know that that's a thing that they do for one episode. And I think that if you didn't watch Community and you heard that, you'd be like, oh, that's kind of cute. They did claymation for an episode. But it's like, no, the characters know that it's claymation too.
Yeah, because they show it again. They show a scene from the claymation, but not claymated later in the season.
Yes.
During the clip show.
So that episode being just like such an iconic Christmas episode, it's got to be one of my favorites. I love that they went there.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. And you can
tell. Could you imagine the budget? Like, how? Like, because that's a whole new undertaking for that crew.
Yeah.
Of like, it's not like Big Mouth where it's like, we'll give you the animators a way to animate something different. It's like, we got to get animators this time.
Yeah. I also watched the regional holiday music, the Glee one. And I really like the songs.
Yeah, me too.
It's such a good musical episode.
And it is one of my favorite Community episodes. There was something about comparative religion this time around that took precedence, but yeah, regional holiday is great.
The cool thing about that one is I know that it's supposed to be canon, but the way that the characters hypnotize each other with Christmas music is more supernatural than they usually get.
Yeah.
They just wanted to make Glee seem so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
they treated the Christmas spirit like a germ.
Yeah, like a plague.
Like a plague, yeah.
Which is fun.
So it's Glee, Christmas, Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
And that's why it's such a good episode because of that. You know, because it has a horror element to it in a fun way.
It's fun horror, not like, oh, Krampus, he's coming to kill you. Santa's got a gun, that kind of horror. It's literally just the jolliness is infectious in a bad way.
That scene when Jeff turns around and Britt is like, you know, that is that's the scene I think of every time I think of the episode.
Moving on.
Let's go to our number 2s. We both have a number 2, and I want to do the guessing game.
Yeah, you know what mine is. You know what one of mine is going to be.
Do I?
I think so. I think one is very obvious. One I basically put on the list out of obligation.
Well, I guess I don't know because I would assume The Office has a lot of Christmas episodes.
Sure does.
So is number 2 an Office episode?
Sure is.
Is number 1 an Office episode?
No.
Okay.
Number 1, you're never going to guess.
Okay, so number 2's Christmas episode, I know there's a lot of them, so I'm going to guess which one I think it is. I think it's going to be the Secret Santa one.
The one.
Of course
There's 2 Secret Santa ones, to be fair.
The one
but it's
where...
one with the teapot.
Yeah, the teapot.
And the iPod.
It's a good one.
So good.
It's a very... And it's one of the best Office episodes, for sure.
It's one of the best Office episodes. It is a very, like... You get such good characterization, I guess. I don't know what to say. What do I...
They move the plot forward for some characters, and they make... there's a lot of moments in that show, or in that episode, that means a lot to characters, and will mean a lot to them going forward. Like, it does not throw away piece of television, for sure.
Right. But it doesn't have the problem that New Girl episode did, in that it's not very Christmassy.
Right.
And it also, like, seems to kind of sacrifice other things just to get all these plot elements hit and, like, do, like, these big character changes and stuff.
Mm.
There's also really subtle things. Like, there's a whole, like, basically a C-plot around Angela in this episode that nobody talks about, and I think it's one of the coolest, like, I think it's one of the best performances from Angela Kinsey.
Is it the cat dying?
No.
What is it?
Her day just gets a little bit worse every time you see her. And then in the very end of the episode, Kelly is drunk and kisses Dwight. And then you see Angela, like, Rack focuses to Angela, I think. And then it cuts to her outside throwing Christmas ornaments and stomping on them.
Yeah. Seeing, like,
and it's
genuine emotion, anger and emotion from her, in, like, romantic sense, like, that is.
Yes.
Nice.
And as her character's relationship with Dwight, it's not necessarily like Dwight kissed Kelly. Kelly didn't know that Dwight had.
It's not like he kissed her back, really.
Right. And he's like, why'd you do that? The man's supposed to do that. Because, like, he's like, he's Dwight. He's weird, but he's also kind of panicking.
Yeah.
And then Angela sees that and just immediately snaps. And her character, the way that she chooses to have this outburst is to go away from everybody else and just throw stuff.
Yeah.
And it's, like, so cool to see a character who is, like, very intentionally reserved around everybody else. She's mean, but she's usually reserved, to see her have an outburst. Yeah. And it's away from everybody else. And they do that thing that's so good on The Office, which is they bring the camera very far away for intimate moments.
Yeah, I love that.
So cool.
Best.
It's just really, really well done. That's what tips it over for me to become one of my favorites. That is probably, if I had to take a guess at what my favorite Christmas episode of all time was going to be, would probably be number 1. But watching a bunch of Christmas episodes made me realize that there's just the best Christmas episode ever made. That's my number 1. But you go ahead and tell me your number 2 first.
Okay, so how am I going to get you to guess number 2 without giving it away? So start with just...
What was your number 3?
My number 3 was Malcolm, but then...
Malcolm. Okay.
But then I kind of replaced it with the community one because we talked about Malcolm.
Your favorite... Chuck.
Honestly, I should have watched Chuck's Christmas episode because I do remember it being very good.
I almost watched it. I was going to do it just as a bit, just to be like one of the ones I watched with the Chuck.
And forced it on me. That's funny.
Angel?
No, doesn't have a Christmas episode.
Okay, then that doesn't count as a guess. Is it a show that you really like, or is it a show that you otherwise wouldn't?
It's a show I really like. Show you really like.
Arrested Development doesn't have a Christmas episode, does it?
Well, that's not the one.
Think of one.
It's not Arrested Development.
It's not The Office.
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of something in the episode that could.
Oh. Nirvana, the band, the show.
Yeah.
Shoot, I forgot to watch
The Bean.
I wanted to rewatch The Bean. Oh man!
If you would have watched that episode, you would have been like.
Oh man, that's got to be on my list, doesn't it?
I don't know. I mean,
I gotta call an audible on this list. I'll come back to you with we'll reconvene in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I'll watch
there's a
Christmas episode of Everything Ever.
I could see there being a lot of things about it that you wouldn't like in terms of Christmas episode, and the fact that it's like, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily have the Christmas spirit per se. It kind of does at the end, though.
I think it has enough.
Yeah.
It's got more than White Christmas or It's a Wonderful Life. or Die Hard.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a Christmas episode. I just mean like for what you were looking for in a Christmas episode. I don't know if that's what you would be into, but like I guess like they spent a lot of time making that
the float is throughout the whole episode because they're flashing
Christmas
back the whole time.
Yeah, and it's
so you're always getting a little bit of Christmas.
I don't even know why I'm asking you. I could just run these people over.
It's so good.
And then the scene at the end
where I met myself from the future.
And when he hugs Jay and he looks angry, he's like, "But then I got over it."
Yeah. And then there's like weird anti-Chinese racism from Matt.
Which one?
Where he's like, if you want to make a Chinese kid happy, you gotta give him money.
Yeah, it's like in Batman. Remember? He's throwing money. The Joker's throwing money.
They just go for such weird jokes that pay off so well.
It's because they don't they're just going for anything, and then in the edit they find it, and if it worked at the time. But it's not like they're like thinking during the scripting process, will this joke work? So yeah, it's a good episode. I don't want to say anything more about it other than it'll just always be my please go watch Nirvana the band.
Please watch Nirvana the band, the show.
Yeah. And it's episode 3 of the whole show.
Yeah.
Really quick.
Yeah, of the TV show.
Yeah.
There is a whole season of the web series.
But that is not canon to the TV show. So, number 1 episodes.
Okay, well, let me...
And you say I'm never going to be able to guess it. So, let me start asking questions. Is it a show that I knew already you liked? Have you talked about the show as you like the show?
I have. I don't know how much I've talked about it, but I've definitely mentioned it.
Have I watched it? Do you know?
Probably not.
Probably not.
For a very specific reason.
Oh, for a very specific... So, I've purposely not watched it.
No, but there was barriers.
Like it had to be on cable.
It's on cable.
And it's a television show for kids, probably on Nickelodeon.
You're right.
So it's probably a SpongeBob episode.
It's not.
Or, hold on. The Nickelodeon show, is it like the Cat Dog Christmas episode? Is it the Fairly Odd Parents Christmas episode? It's got to be something even older. Rocko's Modern Life?
For podcast audio only listeners, I'm nodding my head no.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay, I need one more clue then. Something. Is it Rugrats?
No.
Is it in this room at all? Is it represented in this room somehow?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. No.
Is it Hey Arnold?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to know about the episode.
You want to watch it?
Yes, because I want to watch Hey Arnold from start to finish.
It's really good.
I know, and it's been one that I really, really, I know it needs to be given its time. Like it deserves. I want to know a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'll give you a non-spoiler
yeah.
lowdown. It has custom Christmas music. Now, Hey Arnold has some of the best music of any TV show ever, easily.
Okay.
Easily. Because the guy who did the soundtrack for it went with this very bold decision to do like very complex jazz songs for everything and made custom stuff for like every episode, I believe. Where they do custom.
Yeah, I've heard some of the music. It's great.
So that's already a thing in every episode. Great jazz. But this one has Christmassy jazz. It's great.
Where do you watch it anyway?
It's on Hulu.
Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many things I wanted to watch this time around, I just didn't because I only have Netflix and that's it.
Yeah, Hulu's terrible. Not a sponsor.
Yeah. Hulu's got a lot of stuff though.
That's why I hate it.
Yeah. And there's a couple shows on there that I wanted to watch Christmas episodes of. But like I wanted to watch the Christmas episodes for the Goldbergs. Hulu's got
I've never seen it.
Love that show.
Really?
Yeah. Do you know anything about it?
I know that the kid went to my high school.
The kid actor in the show?
Yeah. I don't know how he got hooked up with this gig.
Yeah.
But it's awesome.
It's awesome. It's an 80s show. It takes place in the 80s, I should say.
I didn't know that.
It takes place in the 80s, and the creator of the show, it's about his life and his family. And
that's Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes, but the fun difference of it is that he was a filmmaker even back then as a kid. He just liked filming the way we did.
I love that.
So the episodes are a lot about that, but also at the end he'll show the clip that they were actually like the real clip that he has from his childhood. Man. So like a lot of times, like the one that sticks in my head is the kid and his older brother like make a parody video of a music video that they really liked, like a shot for shot remake. And they do that in the episode, and then you see the one they made in the episode, and then the real music video they made as kids.
That's so cool.
In the credits. It's great.
I love that.
Yeah,
I would love to be able to use old footage in something.
Right? and he's got so much of it. I'm like,
it's crazy that it's all preserved. That's the thing.
That's the thing, and it just didn't get lost from moving from place to place and stuff. Very cool, and so that hits home for me a lot, obviously.
So in the Hey Arnold Christmas episode, it's called Arnold's Christmas. There's basically a very, very touching A story, and the B story is very, very like commercial Christmas story, and they come together in a really cool way, and they do a really good job of being like, was that Christmas magic or was it not Christmas magic? But the audience knows, the characters don't, and it's really cool to see it done that way. And the story, the A story, is like, will bring a tear to your eye. It's so genuine and heartfelt.
Yeah.
And you see like characters trying their best to make the best of the holidays, and then you see like somebody who has like a harder heart have their heart be softened. So you get like all those warm Christmas feelings in addition to some very real emotional stuff.
Yeah. And that's, from my understanding, that show does that pretty well. Having that real stuff and real people's lives are represented really well. Yeah,
it's pretty not like rough around the edges necessarily, but it's very like slice of life.
Very Avatar with Nickelodeon, where it's just like, we're not going to pander to these kids.
Yeah. All right, that's me. I'm done. You finished the podcast by yourself. I'm leaving.
Okay, see ya. Episode 1 of my favorites. Number one. You want to guess what it is?
Yes. And I haven't guessed it yet already. Like, if I had guessed it, would you have been like...
You got kind of close. But you won't think you got close at all. I'm just going to say it because you're never going to figure it out because you don't think it even exists. Arrested Development has multiple Christmas episodes. Both, at least 2 of them I remember. I don't remember if there's a season 3 one, but both of them are very good.
I don't know why I think that there's not one.
Season 1, In God We Trust, in which they do the play, living paintings.
The pageant,
yes,
or whatever it's called.
But Season 2, Afternoon Delight.
Oh, the Christmas party, The Office.
They do 2 Christmas parties because the first one doesn't go well, so they do the other one. Because he fires everybody in the first Christmas party and then rehires everybody for the second Christmas party.
That's right.
And then...
God. I think I'm due for an Arrested Development rewatch.
Maybe,
2 episodes completely blanked out of my mind.
So Afternoon Delight is my top episode.
Oh, okay. Why not the other one?
Afternoon Delight is just, I think, a better episode. It has more going on. 2 Christmas parties.
It's got twice the Christmas.
Twice the Christmas, twice the dysfunction of, like, not as much family in this one as it was the business and stuff. And then the Afternoon Delight actual bit is hilarious. That during karaoke constantly is throughout the show misunderstood is a really funny bit. Yeah. And there's a lot of just non-Christmas stuff in there. I think I'd like to watch the Arrested Development Christmas episodes as if you're someone who's never seen Arrested Development watching just Christmas episodes. And you're like, oh,
that's interesting.
I'm going to watch this. Like, TV's doing a marathon of Christmas episodes. And then Afternoon Delight comes on. And it's very much a Christmas episode. There's so much Christmas in it. And then there's also the Blue Man Group stuff. And
what's in what part of the Blue Man Group story?
I think it might be the first time we ever see him painted blue. Because it's episode 3 of the show, of season 2.
Oh. So it's when he finds the Blue Man Group.
Not finds him yet, but he comes downstairs painted.
Yeah.
And I know that he was... I know he had blue paint, I think, around him when he was hit by Lucille. Because Lucille accidentally is slowly driving because she's high off the Afternoon Delight brownies.
Yeah.
That she just runs right over him. And he's like, and then when everything's said and done, he's still under the car. He's like, "Hey, is that Tobias? Let's get him to a hospital." And then Job as trying to be the boss again. That's the episode with the suits. That's the episode with the suits. And then the episode where they slip the F word on TV.
They do not.
They kind of do.
They barely do.
Yeah, you're right.
Because if you watch a cut of both ends of it, yeah, you still don't get the whole word if you put it together. Yeah. So, like, you could have actually just aired it like that and it would have been fine, which I think is a big bummer. It would have been so much cooler if they got more of the word in to where they literally you had the whole word.
Yeah.
Half and half.
Yep. That's my favorite one.
Awesome. I forgot that was a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
The suit. Yeah, it makes so much sense now.
Mm-hmm. And the other one's good too. And God We Trust is a great episode.
That's great.
My list?
Yeah, I like your list. Because you had... Now, what's your number 3? Is it Community? Did you change it?
That's Malcolm. I like that episode. It's a good episode.
Okay. It is a good episode.
Yeah.
And then, what was your number 2 again?
The Bean.
And Malcolm in the Middle, Nirvana the Band, The Show, and Arrested Development. That's a winning 3-bination.
That's
a combination, but for 3 things.
Oh, I thought you were going for ovation when you, at some point.
A standing 3-vation.
The whole thing really was probably a futile gesture to even try. But yeah, that's our Christmas stuff. I liked the ones I found.
Has your opinion on Christmas episodes changed?
No.
Audience answers. They're not audience questions.
Okay.
Audience
I'll
answers.
come up with the questions.
Nope.
And then you...
It's not Jeopardy.
Okay.
Last podcast, we asked the question, what are your favorite pilots?
Oh, I don't want to talk about that anymore. That was so 2000 and last podcast.
Camo Bo says, one of my favorite pilots is Gravity Falls. It fits perfectly with the rest of the show and sets up a lot of things that pay off later. That's exactly how he said it, too.
Later.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I responded in the comments already, I think.
Yeah, but answer it now on the podcast.
Sorry. I'm saying to you, I realize that I already fucked up. Sorry about that. I shouldn't have responded. I will stop responding to all your comments. There you go.
Thank you.
About anything.
Good. Be a professional.
Gravity Falls is a really good pilot to the point that it would have been on my list if I just forgot to put it there. In fact, I definitely would have put it over some of them for sure.
We weren't doing favorites, though.
You're right, but it's one of the most well done as well. Like, it's just really good. Just hits all the beats, gets you ready for the vibe.
It was not the first episode you watched, though.
No, it wasn't, and I watched a different episode and didn't want to watch the show because of it. Then I watched the pilot and I wanted to watch the show.
Yeah, somebody tell
Dan Roger
Fox that from Firefly.
Oh yeah,
Fox from Firefly. You get it.
Although that second episode was made to be a pilot.
The train job?
Yeah. Because they said, we don't like this pilot, make us a new one. And so they were like, okay, we'll write a new one that can fit as an episode 2, but works as a pilot as well.
This hat makes my hair very itchy.
Oh, maybe there's lice in there.
That's why I want a real hat, because this is like a costume hat.
Yeah. Probably has lice for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Hargreaves says, as far as unaired pilots go, I don't think it gets much better than Boldly Going Nowhere. Glad it's going to see the light of day again soon. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Yeah, that's right. We got to look that up.
But then he followed up in another comment and he said, also the Superstore pilot is that rarity that not only sets up all the characters, but immediately gives you a sense of the character dynamics and how they'll develop, while not trading in the comedy. It's as funny as any other episode. Also, that ending is beautiful. And I don't know if he means the ending of our pilot or the ending of that pilot. It sounds like he's saying the ending of our video.
Of our thing.
Yeah.
What was the ending of our thing?
I don't watch our stuff.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm just kidding. I watched it 100 times in editing.
Yeah, I watched it. I'm sure. I probably did.
I literally can't remember how the podcast ends. The first episode ends.
But I'm sure it was good.
I'm sure you, listener, remember because you just listened.
Didn't just listen.
Probably.
No.
I think most often, if people are going to listen to a podcast, it's after many episodes are already out, and then they're going through, and then they're watching them back to back.
I thought you were talking specifically to Will Hargreaves, where I was like, he's already watched it. We know that he hasn't just watched it.
I was addressing the
anybody
audience
else
as a whole.
Yeah.
If the audience was a whole in the
then
wall,
they would be watching.
I would whisper it in to the whole.
Hey, you should watch episodes back to back.
Dan Rogers says, God, this hat is so itchy.
Take it off.
Oh, it feels so good to itch it, though. You know?
Yeah.
It's like I'm giving myself the itchiness just so I can have the satisfaction of scratching an itch.
Yeah, no, I'm doing
But I'm not. I'm giving myself Christmas joy.
if you're scratching your head not around Christmas time, is it also Christmas joy, or is it just joy?
Just joy.
Or is it Christmas joy because you're scratching your head around Christmas time, or is it just because of the hat theme?
No, it's neither. It's that this particular itch is Christmas magic joy.
That one.
Yeah.
And
sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
Okay, I get that, yeah.
Arbitrarily.
Yeah.
You get a random
Oh, wait, this
itch.
one fucking sucks. This one's not Christmas at all.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Was that it? Just the 3?
I don't have anything
I
in the
think
way
we're
of
good.
more
I
questions.
think we're good. Christmas is...
But I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm allowed?
Yeah, go for it.
What did we learn here today?
What did we learn?
Like, what did we learn in terms of what makes a good Christmas episode? First of all, should you make Christmas episodes? Is it worth doing the special, or is that cliche and stupid?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because you're saying the special, and I would say most Christmas episodes aren't a special episode, because I think a special episode should probably also be removed in a way, or elongated, or something that makes it a very special episode, and not
like
just
a two-parter.
Yeah, not just an episode that is also Christmas episode.
A
like
guest star.
Yeah, like the one with the Christmas armadillo is not a special episode of Friends. It's a Christmas episode of Friends. You know, Anatomy Park. All the ones I said are not special episodes.
I had some special.
Some of the
episodes.
ones you said are special episodes.
I think the Office ones, being like Benihana Christmas is a two-parter.
Yeah.
All the Doctor Who ones are literally Christmas specials.
Exactly. And same with BoJack. That's a Christmas special.
BoJack is a Christmas special.
Yeah.
What makes the good ones good? What sets them apart?
I don't know. I can't. I don't like to give out information that is like that I believe to be correct, because I know that I'm probably going to think it's false next week.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's still fun to talk about the reasoning behind stuff.
Yeah. Why it works.
Like, one of the things that I found that I didn't realize was going to be such a big deal was the custom Christmassy music. Just like music that's like in the style of what you normally do, but has like sleigh bells and like maybe like little phrases that are like very similar to Deck the Halls or something, but then it like trails off into something else. Like, musically, that's so much
Psych does
fun
that
to
really
listen
well.
to.
Psych has an opening for that Christmas episode.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
The wreaths around the names or whatever.
Yeah, and I like stuff like that too.
Yeah, I love that.
I like the Halloween Community episodes where they have like the different paper thing, the different drawings that are like Halloween themed instead. It's a fun little thing, I think, that makes those episodes more special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe it really is just like a little sprinkling of those special things that push it over the top for me. Is that just like, for me, the holidays, it makes me feel like a kid again. It's just houses. People put lights on them.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it so much.
I saw a car yesterday driving on the way home that had like basically what we just did to that whiteboard, but the entire car, just the outline.
The lights over it?
Outlining it only. It is really cool.
Awesome. It's just little things like that.
Yeah.
I think honestly, after discussing it, what we've come away with is a light touch. Just a little bit of holiday magic in there. That's all you need. You don't need to make, you don't need to have Santa Claus show up at the end of the episode and be magical.
Yeah, those are, because
not that that's bad necessarily. You could still do it.
No. For some people it is. You know what I mean? That's because like if I was just talking about my opinion, like there's another Psych Christmas episode that is like Sean's just talking to a Santa that comes to him in a dream, and then like I fucking hate it. It's my least favorite episode of Psych. Because it's like not,
I don't remember it though.
It's just not canon, and it's very Christmas and nothing else. I don't feel like it's canon, at least. Bye.
I really like the prep for these podcasts. Going and watching a bunch of stuff.
I get to watch a lot of
shows,
shows, yeah.
And then taking you on the journey with me, telling you all about it. Mm-hmm. It's fun for me.
So, what is some of your favorite Christmas episodes?
Yeah.
Or better yet, I have a more interesting question. Do you find a reoccurring seasonal theme like a Christmas episode or a Halloween episode? Do you have a favorite type of like that? Like, oh, I love when a show has a Christmas episode, or oh, I love when a show has a Halloween, or any of that. If there's a specific thing that you love when a show does this, you know, or a best of episode, if you like a clip show, you know, maybe that's your favorite types of episode tropes. I'm a sucker for musical episodes.
That's why that Community Glee one is so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a musical.
Yeah.
I think music's important in the holidays, so that kind of, you get that overlap sometimes, and I think that's a great reason. Futurama also, whenever Christmas comes into play, there's usually a musical element to it.
That's nice.
Okay, cool. Thanks for watching.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for listening.
Merry Christmas.
I could use both, one for the video, one for the audio podcast.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Look at that.
Thanks for filling my Christmas stocking with Mriting Wonday episodes from Jason and John. From our family to yours, let's get it on.
From our family to yours, let's get it on.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
I like that whether you watch the video or the audio, it's like picking red or blue version.
I like that a lot.
You know?
We should put little Easter eggs in.
Yeah, like in this whole episode, you didn't realize if you were watching the sound one that I was flipping the camera off the whole time.
Yeah. You may also not realize that Jason's wearing a Halloween
That's true.
suit made of pumpkins.
It's true.
And that's not a joke. That's real.
No, I am.
The middle finger thing, also true.
Yeah. Well, because John texted me this morning, like right as I was about to head out the door, like, wear something Christmassy. And I have zero Christmassy anything.
This is as Christmas as I got. I'm just wearing a green shirt and a Santa hat.
Yeah, I don't know how you did that and then thought to tell me to do it too.
What did I say exactly? I said, you suck. So
I remember.
I said, wear your Christmassiest outfit. This is my Christmassiest outfit. Not only did I say that, though, I said my Christmassiest outfit isn't very Christmas, but it's the best I've got. I immediately gave myself
made me feel better about my Christmassy outfit.
I gave myself the out.
Yeah, and I knew that mine was going to be, and I would argue I'm still better than you because I got the
Dan Schneider eat your heart out.
The end.
All right.
Thank you for watching this episode of our little podcast. It's 2 years old today. Podcasts age faster than people. Every episode is a year. If you like this, boy, we would really love if you subscribed. We do weekly little videos. Also, there's a bunch of links in the description, one of which is to our Patreon, so if you want to head over there and support the channel, or hit that join button on YouTube. Either way is fine. I mean, one is better than the other, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to secretly judge you. We have fun here. Merry Christmas.
Bye. Still good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back.
I almost made it to the bathroom this time.
Very proud of you. We'll get it someday.
Yeah.
That's what the bucket's for, though.
Yeah.